And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals. The grand finals of the WardiTV Monday number 57. We are here. We have returned with our TvP. Clem, he took down Creator in a very fast series, by the way. Clem, he was hyper aggressive both in game 1 and in game 2 against Creator, and Creator had a hard time keeping up. Game 1, if you remember, Creator was hyper greedy. He went 2-gate blink into a third base, and game 2, Creator was otherwise distracted, didn't see what was coming his way, and got shut down by the early tank Viking push, and with that, Clem did overwhelm. Likewise, MaxPax was able to take down Hero in the PvP. We can't really glean too much about that, coming into a very different matchup, into Protoss versus Terran. Let's go. We're loading into Pylon. We're loading into the smallest map in the map pool. Shorter rushes by ground. Aggressive builds are favored here, and we'll see how aggressive our players plan on being. Let's go. This morning, in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the French Terran player. We have the French Terran. We have the red Terran for Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss for System Gaming. It is MaxPax. Here we go. So we are getting into our best of 5. And we're loading into oh, hello. Okay. Speaking of aggression, speaking of aggressive builds, we have MaxPax. MaxPax does pop up. He's going for initial proxy, going for the proxy, I believe, 2-gate. Nothing back at home, so we're expecting additional gateways across the map once the pylon is done. Let's go. First gateway has been thrown down. So it does go for the proxy gates. Clem, we'll see if he does go for an economic opener. That is the hope here. Remember, against Creator, both games actually, Clem did open up 2 double gas. He went double gas opener against Creator in game 1 and game 2. Here, it looks like single gas, racks, expand, economic start out of Clem. Things are lining up for MaxPax, as this will be a proxy zealot. We see MaxPax being as annoying as possible, tasing away at the SCV, and Clem should be getting a CC on the low ground, and that's going to be the target for this zealot. Ooh, as MaxPax will delay, go up to 470, 80, up to 5, oh, almost up to 500. So nice delay here on the CC. Here comes the zealot, and behind this, MaxPax does expand. But again, the goal here is to do what? Is to delay, maybe even cancel the command center. Throwing out the second zealot. Reaper moves out, waiting for the Reaper to move across the map. As the Reaper moves out, the zealot moves in. And we're going for that command center. The SCV is already low from earlier. Yep, will be zoned away. Delay on the CC. Bunkers being thrown down. Does want to get caught out. Does want to go up the ramp. And again, the goal here, just delay. Just heavy delay. Going for the add-on, going for the tech lab of all things. Tech lab taking a lot of hits. Will be able to repair in time. As now we have a Stalker going for the SCVs. That's one. Oh. Down one of the SCVs. Reaper gets zoned away. Reaper, he wants a zealot. Oh, he gets it. Zealot goes down. Zealot does fall. And behind this, Max is going for a Robo opener back at home. Okay, this will lead into early Immortal production, early War Prism as well. He has his Marauder. Oof. Losing another SCV. Another SCV goes down. Bearing in mind there's no concussive shell. And MaxPax still just trading well here. Gets 3 SCVs, still massive delay on the command center. He wants that Reaper. Does get it. Reaper goes down, trades out a Stalker for one of the Marauders. We'll lose 2 Stalkers actually. Ooh. A little bit of Lee Zealous there from MaxPax. Losing another Stalker. And again, we're building up. We're building up. MaxPax does have that economic lead. Still rallying in. Oh, does not quite get the Marauder. Not quite. Now from here, where exactly are we? So MaxPax, he does opt to go for the Warp Prism first. This allows him to keep the pressure up. It means that he can move out across the map, he can micro, he can control his units, warp in, and potentially threaten the main base. As Hellions, they go for the dive. They get 2 shots. 1 volley goes off. Gets 1, gets 2 probes. Nice retargeting there from Clem. Very nice. And again, this is just buying time. It's buying time. Clem, thankfully, he scouts with this as well, so he sees the Warp Prism. Viking is on the way. Oh, MaxPax locks in the Hellion. Nice moves. And we'll see what MaxPax can get done. See what he can get done here. As he's pushing. Tank does siege, Vikings in the main. It's a Marauder. Prism does take a shot to the face. Does take a bit of hull damage. There's only 1 tank. The tank doesn't quite cover the mineral line. Ooh, Viking goes down. I guess the Viking. Oof. A bit of mission control there from MaxPax. We'll take 1 extra shot to the face. He still does get an SCV. Again, still very tense. With that, Clem is stuck at home. MaxPax, of course, he has eyes on this. Making sure he sees any kind of move out. And Clem, who'll be stuck at home until he finishes Stim. Once Stim finishes, then he can move out. So staying back home, we do see MaxPax likewise stay on 2 bases, taking his gases and taking up into Storm, still on 2 bases as well. You can argue that this is maybe a little bit overly defensive. Basically, MaxPax, he's heavily delaying his own 3rd base. He's delaying his 3rd base, but it does seem like Clem isn't pushing soon, so he would have had the opportunity to expand earlier. Now what this means, though, is that Storm is going to be done insanely fast. So Storm is going to be prioritized. Storm is on the way. And should be ready in time for the push. I say that, actually Clem going for an earlier move out. Bleeds out a lot of Marines. Yeah, well, 6 Marines going down. Was not quite worth it. Stim is still not yet done, and Clem is expanding. So he's not going for an all-in. A 3rd CC is on the way. Does find the Warp Prism. Not bad. Prism goes down. There's no backstab. Once again, though, the goal for MaxPax is to get eyes on the move out and to delay the push. Observer spots the army. Storm is about to finish. Clem does notice. Here comes a move out. MaxPax will delay. Does force a Stim. So he gets 1 Marine, does force a Stim. Oh, gets a 2nd Marine. How many High Templar? 4. Jesus. It's gonna be 3 Marine kills. We'll lose 1 Stalker. High Templar have arrived. Nice pre-siege here from Clem. Ready. At the same time, MaxPax going for a counterattack. I mean, with Storms, MaxPax, you can just buy time. You can just buy time. That's a lot of Winter Mines clumped up. Storm on the Winter Mines. Oh my god. They have to get out of here. Nice pickup. Does save them. Zell save bust into the main. SCVs are going down. Winter Mines. Oof. Yeah, 1 shot goes off, 1 High Templar goes down. Nice target crying out of Clem. But SCVs are falling. This is getting out of hand here. 7, 8 SCVs going down. Getting to 10. 10 SCV kills, massive storm on the Marines. And the tanks will fall. Yeah, it takes out all the tanks. I've only had one more storm. Clem takes out the Immortal. Yeah, he takes the fight. Yeah, messy defense here from MaxPax. As we mentioned, the high tempo were clumped. A lot of tempo went down early. And Clem expands. So we have a bit of a give and take here. On the one hand, MaxPax, he survives, true, but he also bled out a lot of units, and now Clem has established his third base. I will say that Clem, he's ahead economically. He's on full 3-base saturation, and MaxPax, he's missing his fourth. His fourth base is very late. So there's a lot of pressure on MaxPax before he gets outscaled. You can see the supply disparity getting larger as Clem is able to afford more. Now, what does MaxPax have? Storm. How many? 4. 4 Eye Templar, going to be at least 4 storms. We'll see if we can break through. Once the pressure is on. Oh. Storm zones. Dives into the mineral line. Liberator is down. But no major storms on the army. Liberator survived. Wait, what? Oh, it's on 1 HP. The 1 HP Liberator. Let's go. Oh, miss rally. The Mortal's thrown away. And Clem holds. And you can see Clem now with a 40 supply lead. As we mentioned before, MaxPax, there was a lot of pressure on him to try to break Clem then and there. He failed to do so as he falls further behind. As we mentioned, after the aggression subsided, Clem, he had the superior economy. And that translates into this larger army. Just took a little bit to kick in. Colossus production has begun. That will help, but Clem is pushing first. Okay, there's 6 Templar. There's a lot of storm potential, that is true, but at the same time, there's a lot of EMP potential as well for Clem. Okay, massive counterattack. MaxPax dropping into the main. Clem does have an army. He's ready. He reacts. Oh, and the Prism gets sniped. Yeah, brutal snipe. Zells hit the 4th base. MaxPax's 4th base is on par with the Terrans. That is brutal. So Clem, he maintains his lead. He maintains his momentum. But at least MaxPax has the first Colossus. And he's got 2 more on the way. So he's slowly building up his Colossus count. MaxPax is slowly trying to recover. I say trying to recover because, again, this army is still very vulnerable. It's a very small army, very vulnerable. If Clem pushed with everything, I believe he would break MaxPax, but Clem, he's adverse to pushing out at the moment. He's still staying back at home, securing his bases. Now we do see a split push. Clem is about to max. We got to make use of that army. MaxPax, meanwhile, is getting cannons, getting shield batteries. He's building up his defense. And Clem is getting a 5th CC. Yeah, so he's choosing to be more passive, more defensive. This is something that Clem has spoken on recently, how I guess it's similar to Beyond. Beyond is more extreme when it comes to how defensive he is. But in recent times, Clem has been a little bit less, or he's been more deterred from actually like pushing out and being aggressive once we get into a longer game. Clem does max out, taking into Liberators. The rationale for this is because Clem spoke on how it's easier to take a bad fight to like have like a 20, 30, 40 supply lead, have a bad fight against Storm and Colossus, and then lose your lead. So here, technically, it's not a wrong thing to do, but he's like getting a 5th base, getting a 6th base, turtling up back at home, taking up into Liberators, refining and perfecting his army. That's EMP. EMP goes off, Colossus are exposed. As MaxPax is buying time with the Storms. Clem still has the advantage, gets one Colossus, gets one. One, kites back, nice EMP on the High Templar. Templar, they were clumped. Another Colossus falls, gets 2, there's 1 Colossus left. Oh no, it also went down. Every Colossus falls, no more Storms. Oh sorry, there's 1 flanking Storm coming in, does land. But Max actually just doesn't have enough. In the end, Clem here overwhelms GG. Clem breaks the main army, and Clem will take a 1-0 lead. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Clem, I mean, both players were aggressive in their own way here this game. Clem did have a massive advantage after his push failed. What did he achieve, though? He was containing MaxPax on 3 bases. As we were emphasizing, Clem, he had the superior economy. He was able to get his 3rd base and his 4th base at a very nice time, and MaxPax was a little bit later to take his own expansions. He had a later army as a result, smaller army. GG. GG, well played. Clem was able to overwhelm. And thankfully, he didn't kind of miss his window of opportunity either. I was a little bit concerned that he was going to turtle on 5 bases, was getting a 5th and 6th, but thankfully, once he maxed, he did start to push out. Did start to move out. That's the difference between Clem and Bjorn. That's because Clem wouldn't, sorry, Bjorn would not push. No. Not like this. But here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss for Psystorm. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player. We have the red Terran for Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. See in chat, is there a Big Store tomorrow? There should be. That should be Big Store Cup tomorrow. We should be there to cover it as well. It's going to be a lot later in the day, right? Yeah, it's much later in the day. I mean, I guess that helps. It means we get to sleep a little bit more. But it also means we have less time before the next cast. No. We'll do our best. So now we're going to be opening up. We do have our just standard opening here by MaxPax, and likewise Clem going for a racked expand. Economic start out of our Terran, no double gas. No double gas here, so economic opener out of our Terran player, going for a CC on the low ground. This time MaxPax is not proxy. Remember last game, MaxPax did go for a proxy gateway to delay the CC and get damage done early on. We had a much more aggressive start out of MaxPax. And he wasn't doing too poorly. He was able to delay the CC, get his own natural up and running. Wasn't bad. But then Clem was able to build up into the follow-up. We also saw MaxPax, he delayed his own 3rd base intentionally to get Storm. That was a lot that came into play. But now that we're calming down, and welcome to Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Larger map, more defensive map as well. We often see longer and later games on Tokamak. Oh. Clem pokes in, denies some mining. Will not kill a probe. Doesn't get a worker kill, but he does barely pull away on 1 HP. Does pull out. And of course, MaxPax is taking up into Blink. So Twilight Council into Blink. Back at home, and Clem is getting to his own 1-1-1. Takes down the Adept. Nice trades here from Clem. And we are not going for an add-on swap. Okay. So opening up Reactor and Marine into early tank production. My attention. So very fast tanks. A tech lab on the starboard as well. Not going for medevacs, not going for drops. We'll see how hard he does commit. As it's going to be a Raven, not Banshee. Okay. Ravens will allow for harass, specifically for auto tart harass. What I'm most curious by though is the early tank production, so we're building up more tanks. And Clem, we'll see if he does invest into a third tank after the second. Nice run, Clem. Is this 2-gate? Yep, 2-gate blink. So 2-gate blink into a third base. If you remember, this is the same build that MaxPax is going for that Creator went for on Last Fantasy. We did criticize Creator because Last Fantasy is a more aggressive map and he didn't scout his opponent either, so it was very risky for Creator to go for, and Creator was punished for it. Here, it makes more sense on Tokamak. We mentioned this is a larger map, more defensive map as well, so cutting corners makes a lot more sense on Tokamak. So MaxPax, he should get away with this. Meanwhile, Clem is getting the eBay for +1. Does go for the add-on swap and is taking into Stim. So Clem is not going for an early push. As you can see here, he does not make a third tank either, so only 2 tanks to set up defensively and then building up into his bio composition. So we have a very tame game here on Tokamak, with MaxPax being more economic and with Clem likewise just building up. Observer gets caught, so third CC's on the way. Again, we're building up into the mid game. We're calming things down. Again, as I mentioned before, there's a higher chance that we just get into like a 3, 4, 5 base saturation. We got the Bay on the way for Colossus after the third base. Has nice sniper on the Stalkers. Takes on the Raven, but at a cost. We'll bleed out 2. 2 Stalkers do go down, and Clem will expand. But again, at least Max was able to snipe that Raven. Prism in towards the main. Clem is still pulling back. From here, MaxPax getting his own 4th base. The goal here should just be to buy time. Just to buy time, just to keep eyes and keep tabs on Clem. You don't want to go in too soon with this Prism. Ideally, you want to move over the Prism when Clem moves out. For a backstab. So just lying in wait. Meanwhile, Clem is taking his gases at his 3rd base. Taking up into his Ghost Academy. We're settling in, Pat. We're settling in. Settling in, we're turtling up. This should lead into a 4th base. into a max out. At this point, Clem most likely will not push until said max out. And there it is, 4 CC. MaxPax, he should not try to push into this. Pushing into a siege up position is going to be brutal. And instead should just be taking. Okay, Max is getting his 5th. Get face on the way. MaxPax does slip into the main. Bold move. Army's in position. The Warpin will finish though. Yeah, the Warpin will complete. MaxPax moving up the ramp, but he'll run into the tanks. I believe kills 1 tank on the high ground. Zells to get a second. Okay, let's go. Nice flank. Very nice flank here. That's going to be 4 tanks going down. So better trades here for MaxPax, and Clem suddenly is vulnerable. With 4 tanks falling, now MaxPax, he can just keep warping in, and he can try to break this position even. Suddenly, the defensive setup here for Clem is less imposing. It's less impressive. Uh-oh. War Prism did survive. And Clem is in trouble. Yeah, but now just causing a distraction. MaxPax moves in, pulls away at the same time. Prism, ooh, gets sniped. Nice scan. Does get in time. Clem defends the main base. Likewise, he defends the front lines as well. 1 tank does go down. Another tank falls. MaxPax just posturing. Poking in. And we'll see if MaxPax can break the 4th. So, on the one hand, yes, he's killed a bunch of tanks, but that may not matter here. Clem is rebuilding, he's remaxing, he's getting a 4th base up and running. Breaking a 4-basing player here on Tokamak is very difficult. The 5th is when the Terran player starts to spread a little bit thin. But even then, they should be moving their army with their new expansion. MaxPax once again going for the run by, going for the drop. A little bit surprised we haven't gotten turrets here in the main, as this is what, the 3rd or 4th time that the Prism has come in. Gets into the main base. And does try to go for the Warpin as well. Going for the ETs. MaxPax rotating up the ramp. EMPs do connect, but there's not many Vikings. And not many Vikings here. Colossus, they do spend some of their DPS on the buildings. As Zelts go down, Colossus, they're on their own. But MaxPax, he gets into the mineral line. SCVs are going down, massive pickups. He has to get out of here though. The main army. We'll lose a Colossus, we'll lose 1, 2, he's gonna lose every Colossus. He overextends. Big overextension. MaxPax should not have been here. The Zealot runway was solid, but the Colossus, he lost every single one. And MaxPax, he plummets in supply. Yeah, he throws away his army. And Clem is about to max. He's about to max out. And once he does, he can push. And there's just not much at home for MaxPax. Magic Worker seems like too much. Well, it would be fine if we didn't lose a Colossus. So I should wind it back a little bit here. What MaxPax is going for, the style that he's going for, is that ideally you build up your initial Colossus, your initial like core army units, and you never lose them, right? And what do you do? you replace them with you replace your army. You replenish your army with purely zealots. That's why MaxPax is 92, 94 workers. That's why he has mass expansions. That's why he has mass mineral income. He has 1,000 minerals in the bank. Because ideally, you go in, you lose your zealots, you back off, and you replenish and you replace your zealots, and you just keep trading like that. Unfortunately, he lost 4 colossus. Like, unfortunately, MaxPax lost all the colossus, so he did overextend. That was a big misstep, and that does slow him down. Meanwhile, drop into the main base. Clem, he will defend. So the purpose of this style is to have a boosted mineral income so that you can keep trading, right? You can just go in, trade out your zealots, back off, go for a massive warp in, and just keep trading. And just keep the pressure up. TvP does connect, getting into the first tank. Tank does fall. Storms are coming in as well. Speaking of warp-ins, there we go. Massive Zealot warp-in into the main. EMPs are solid. The main army has to back up. As MaxPax pulls away, he does get on top of the production though. And oh, the warp-in is denied. And nice defense there by Clem. Denies the warp-in. Loses CC. And again, MaxPax is playing with fire with this army. Like, he cannot attack, he cannot push in, he has no intention to. He just has to make sure he doesn't get caught. Just don't lose your core army. He rotates in, does take down the tank. Tank goes down. There's the army out of position. Clem now rotating. Lands EMP. The Prism has joined the army. Prism has arrived. Still no turrets in the main, by the way. Prism's going back in. Oh, ghosts are exposed. Jesus. So calm down. Ghosts are getting quite low. As Max actually will lose one of the Colossus. Prism gets in once again. And we're going for the warp in. Another Colossus falls. So Max actually does punish. Does catch a couple of ghosts. Flanking storms as well. Now just zoning away. Massive storm on the army. Yeah, storms are connecting. The army's getting low. And the zealots are being cleaned up. Does kill the starports though. I believe that was both. Yes, both starports went down. 0 starport production out of Clem. Ay, ay, ay. No liberators. No more Vikings. Colossus are coming. As the Prism goes back in, more zealots, more warp-ins. Once again, harassing into the main base. Does move in. MaxPax still has to be careful, so has to make sure he doesn't overcommit. Please not more Templar. Where are the Colossus? They're still coming. That's what we're desperately trying to rebuild the starports of the natural. Yo, let's go. Planetary's on the way next to the Nexus. The Planetary's coming. Here come the Colossi, and there's 4 Vikings. Again, the starport production has been hindered quite heavily. Only 4 Vikings. And now the Colossus can reign supreme. They can move in. Massive swipes going up. Oh my god. Yeah, the Marines, they just melt. They crumble. And MaxPax is doing it. He's breaking through. Nice time from the Liberator. More storms coming in. Oh my god. We have massive storms. Do we have one more? Yeah, one final storm. And it's still so very close here. Clem, he barely cleans up the army. Just barely. Did cost him everything though. And remember, MaxPax, he has a greater economy. He has all these bases. He's still rebuilding. Still rebuilding. Oh, the zealots. MaxPax, he instantly remaxes. Nice EMPs. Oof. Storm lands. Storm does land, gets into the mineral land as well. 5 SCV kills. And Clem is struggling. Like Clem, again, the one kill move that MaxPax had was sniping those 2 starports in the main. That was huge. That allowed him to eventually break the triangular third base. Led into this game state. So that's momentum. They're rushing in. Let's rush in. Down to 2 Colossus, down to 1. Colossus barely goes down as well. Shout out to the hero Vikings. Clem, he's holding. He's barely holding on, but Warpins into the main. They continue. The Warpins continue back. As Zealous into the forward base. More SCVs going down. And again, we're looking to tie the series up. After the earlier losses, Clem, he just can't max. He cannot max out. He doesn't have the economy for it. He's been trading too much of his army as well. He goes. Nice EMPs. EMPs have been solid. He needs more time. There's still more warpins into the main. The warpins back. You can go for the academy even. But not just trying to catch reinforcements. Academy will survive. Ooh, nice. Oh my god, he sends in the storms. Yeah, crazy storm. Prism finally goes down. Last Clem, he was otherwise distracted. MaxPax rotates. Push into the Protoss. We have a backup War Prism already. Oh no. Academy goes down. So no more ghost production. As the Academy is being rebuilt. Down goes the CC. Again, eventually through the battle of attrition here, then we should just be broken. He has built up a decent amount of liberators though. That's a lot of freedom. It's a lot of liberation. If he can set up, he can take a good fight. True. As Clem has been perfecting his army. Finally, what do we see out of MaxPax? I believe we just saw a Stargate. Getting ready for Sky Toss. At least he's thinking about it. Yeah, there are so many Liberators. We bring this up all the time. When the Terran player hits critical mass of Liberator like this, you need Tempest. And there we go. Fleet Beacons on the way. Tempest on the horizon. But MaxPax, he wasn't really ready for a Tempest switch, so these are late. So late Stargates, late Fleet Beacon. Clem, he can stabilize. Guess how many? He has 9 Liberators so far, about to be 10. 10 Liberators. Where's the Sky Toss? And Max is getting a little bit desperate. Let's get 1. Let's get 2. Not very nice storm. Oh my god. The Liberators, they stack on the storm. Oh my god. We had 10 down to 5. Down to 5 Liberators. Ay, ay, ay. Five Liberators at full. Clem taking another expansion, but it's not a fresh base. Bear that in mind. Close to move back in, and here we go. The Tempests are coming. MaxPax is almost there. He needs those Tempests. Max is getting another base. Center left is also a base that is still untouched. And MaxPax should take it. Go, let's go. Oh my god. That's with High Templar. Cheeky moves here by Clem. Moving in, does chase, does get one of the Colossus. And Max actually have to kite away. He can't fight head on. He cannot fight head on here. Tempest goes down. Clem, he's going for the production. Came with the Stargates. Yeah, he breaks out. He breaks out. Gets another Tempest. Gets a Colossus as well. Stargates, they will fall. The Tempest switch is not happening. It's not happening, man. Really unfortunate that MaxPax chose to get the Stargates here. They're exposed and they are going down. And GG gets called. Clem, he snowballs out of control. He breaks MaxPax, and Clem will take a 2-0 lead. Whew, GG. Aye. GG, well played. Again, MaxPax did have a massive lead, a massive advantage. He was trading well for himself, but as we did point out, he had a late switch into Tempest, a late switch into Stargates. He had a late realization that Clem was stabilizing with Mass Liberator, so he was late to switch up, and also unfortunate as well, as you saw that he had exposed Stargates as well. So eventually, Clem was able to camp that production, break out, and end the game. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, the tenacity there out of Clem, very tenacious, able to hold on. Not just the fact that he was able to break out, but also the fact he was able to take a fresh base, quote unquote fresh base, take the base on the right hand side, so he was still able to sustain himself, able to maintain his army. GG, well played. Whew, aye. I think Clem can win now with his lips. Yes. As we did try to emphasize, like, the Liberators were a big power spike for Clem, and it was on MaxPax to be ready for that power spike, but he wasn't. MaxPax, he was maybe a little bit either overconfident or just tunnel visioning a little bit too much with more of like a mid to late game setup when it came to like the Mass Zealous and the Mass Gateway and the Mass Warpins and that hyper aggressive style, which can work really well and can kill, but again, it does kind of lose its bite and lose its edge once there are too many Liberators. GG, well played. And now we're getting into game 3, potentially the final game of the series. Clem is up 2-0, and Clem needs one more to claim it here and now. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran, the French Terran, for Team Liquid. It is Clem. And losing that last game as well must be a little bit demoralizing here for MaxPax. Again, he had a massive lead, a massive advantage. He had, I should say, he had momentum, right? He had momentum, he had map control. he was doing damage, getting into bases, sniping tech. There was a big moment, of course, when he sniped the starports and he was able to break the third base as well. It's a really nice moments. But again, he wasn't really ready to transition into that Stargate, into that Sky Toss. That did get him killed. Did get him killed. Now we're getting to game 3. Here we do have a more economic start at a Clem once again. So going Rax Expand, a bold move on Ultra Love. Welcome to Ultra Love. Ultra Love is one of the smaller maps in the map pool. One of the more aggressive maps, I should say. We have seen a lot of aggressive builds and all-ins. We have seen some diverse play here on Ultra Love. We'll see what Clem goes for. From here we're settling in. Once again, Twilight counts are open at a MaxPax. When it comes to Ultra Love, this is a map where it is more difficult to play that turtle heavy style. I should emphasize that when we spoke about it at the beginning of Tokamak. Tokamak is the most defensive map in the map pool, so we had a much more passive early to mid game. But here, coming into Ultra Love, there's a little more aggressive potential for Clem. Again, it's just very map dependent. Oh, when SCV goes down. Nice snipe at a MaxPax. Gets one. Does get one. Clem getting into his own 1-1-1. Oh. And we'll see where this leads us. As he does open up with a Wooden Mine drop. Okay. I do appreciate that Clem has done something different every game so far. Going for a different opener, going for a different build. With this opening up Widow Mine, and we'll see what the follow-up is going to be. Likewise, MaxPax. We should be seeing a bit of a safer build out of him. Last game we saw 2 Gaplink. This time we're getting to 3. So 3 Gaplink Stalker and a Robo on 2 bases. Very safe play here by MaxPax. It is not uncommon to see gases taken as well, and even going into earlier Storm. So we'll see if he takes his gases or if he does take a 3rd base. Gets one. We'll take his 3rd gas geyser. Hellion does try to slip in. Oh. Confirms some of the gases. Likewise gets eyes on the Robo as well. Doesn't confirm the gateway counts. So Mindrill gets in. Ooh. Gets a probe. Gets a probe. Gets a stalker. Not bad. Couple of key pickups, and we are indeed taking all 4 gases. So all 4 gases on 2 bases. So we're delaying the 3rd even further. Delay 3rd base at a MaxPax. He is moving out. Applying some pressure. Tanks are ready. So ready. Ooh, blinks in, takes down the medevac. Nice snipe on the medevac at least. Takes down the medevac, pulls away. At the same time, MaxPax finally getting his own 3rd base. I assumed it was going to be a Templar Archives before 3rd, but it's slightly after. Regardless, working towards Storm. And he finds no tank, but he does find 2 bunkers. It's just buying time. Tank does reposition. And Clem holds. But he does hold on. He holds, he defends, and he's going to be stuck at home until Sim finishes. When Sim is done, they can break out. Until then, Clem is contained. Yes, again, the goal here for MaxPax is just contain. Back at home, I mean, he's had a bit of a later third base, working towards Storm. Oh, does not get the Raven. And Clem, he will eventually break out. Eventually take his third base. Getting there. MaxPax, he hasn't actually seen the third, so for all MaxPax knows, this could be a 2-base all-in anyway. So he's still playing it safe, still playing close to the chest. Now he takes the 4th base. 4th is on the way. And once again, he's ready for the backstab. Oh, we've seen this before. He's ready with the War Prism. Last game, we saw this Prism do so much damage in the main. You see Clem is in position. He's got his Viking. Storm is done. Third base is going to be denied. Decent storms. Mainly zoning. Third base is going to be denied here. Behind this, working towards Colossus. Bay is on the way. And the Prism gets into the main. Clem is ready for it, though. Shuts down the Zealots. Clem, he takes the linear third base instead. Let's take the linear third. It's actually rotating over. Tanks are ready. Max actually ready for the run by. Once again, he's just trying to cause a distraction. He should have no intention to push into these tanks. Oh, may find one on the low ground though. Yeah, tries to storm. Gets into double one. Decent storm on the right hand side. 1, 2 tanks go down, but Clem will hold. And Clem, he will hold on at the same time. Prism into the main. A little bit late. Gets the warp in. But shouldn't get much done here. It takes down 3 ACVs, and Clem holds. And that was an overextension. Like MaxPax pushing in between the bases. Did get a couple of tanks, but bled out a lot of units as well. That was what, 30 Zealots, High Templar and Archon. Not too many key units went down, thankfully. And MaxPax is forced back. He's forced back home, now expanding, getting a 4th base. Sorry, getting a 5th. Clem, he's weathered the storm. And it looks like once again we're just going to be a little bit more defensive here. Getting a 4th base, rebuilding his defensive position. Yeah, he's just walling up. He's walling up here. Bunkers, depots, sensor tower as well. Clem is hoping that MaxPax pushes again. He's hoping. This time we have one turret. Let's go. We have one turret in the main this time. That is better than nothing. Better than last game. So the turret has got the fire. MaxPax will be the first to max out, getting a 6th expansion. And MaxPax, he shouldn't push in until we see a 4th base taken. Speaking of, here comes a 4th. Army's exposed, dives on in, catching on one of the ghosts, getting on top of the tank as well. Very nice engage here by MaxPax. Takes down 3 tanks and pulls away. Here he pulls back, consolidates his army. Prism into the main base was shut down. And this is all that MaxPax needs to do. Just pull back, reinforce, and keep engaging here whenever Clem is at his weakest. Now Clem is down to 1 defensive tank. Nice EMPs. Nice out of the Archons. Then he pulls back to the tank. Army gets zoned away. MaxPax going to get into the mineral line. Oh, not quite. It doesn't quite get in. MaxPax pushing further. Does get some decent storms. Oh my god. Get some decent storms. And he's just going to keep going. And MaxPax, he commits in. He wants to go for the kill. And he breaks through the tank. Points are being pulled. Yeah, there is an opening. Takes down the tank. Pushing into the natural. Mass repair of the bunker. But of course, they get so much done in the back line. And MaxPax looks like he has done it. Whew. Yeah, GG gets called. He breaks through, and MaxPax puts a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, MaxPax, he did wait until Clem took his 4th base, and you saw once he took his 4th, he spread himself thin, right? There was an opening. We saw that tanks were caught on siege. The army was rotating between the 3rd and the 4th base, and MaxPax took a very strong fight. From there, I assumed he was just going to back off and just keep going for those like pickoffs whenever he could, but no, he just warped in, committed, kept on pushing. As we saw, there was only 1 tank left on the high ground. GG. GG, well played. MaxPax does overwhelm, and with that we're getting to game number 4. GG. And again, as we tried to mention at the start of this, Ultralove is a much more vulnerable map compared to, say, Tokamak, so easier to push in like that, easier to break a defending player. And now we're loading into ley lines. As spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the Danish Protoss player, we have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. Putting a point on the board and fighting back in the series, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the French Terran player, the Red Terran for Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. Now we're loading into ley lines. Ley lines, I would say, is a more defensive map compared to Ultralove. It is slightly, I would say, slightly more defensive. We do have our high ground set up here. We do have, I bet, a little bit easier rotations between the bases as well. We'll see if Clem can be more successful being more defensive here on ley lines. I mean, there are some pros, there are some cons. You have the backwards base, for example, which can be very difficult to take, especially against Colossus and Storm on the low ground. So that's another factor, of course. As you expand and expand further out, you do spread yourself further thin. We'll see. We'll see if Clem is going to play more defensive again. But now double gas. Okay, double gas opener. Looks like a much more aggressive build. The last 2 games on both Ultralove and Tokamak, we had Clem going for more economic starts. Not this time, though. Not this time. go. As again, we have that faster factory setup, CC on the high ground, and Clem playing safe, at least with the CC build, well, CC location. And we'll see if Clem goes for early tank production. Alright, it's going to be on Clem. Does go initially Reaper Hellion, Stargate open out of MaxPax. Okay, for the first time, he does change up his tech. We've been seeing a lot of Twilight Council play, which is standard, but this time we're going for a Stargate. Now, usually we see Stargate play on maps like Torches or on some of the larger maps as well. I would say this is risky. The downside of going for a Stargate opener, of course, is you are vulnerable to all-ins. When it comes to two-base all-ins, they can hit very, very hard. They can break through. They can punish Stargate play if Clem can scout. That's the big question, though. We'll see if Clem can get a read what's going on early on. But now it's going Reactor Reaper Hellion. We're going to move out. The goal here is for early economic damage. And we'll be Phoenix first. And you can see he's banking up those Phoenixes. Hoping for it to be a surprise. Phoenixes, they can be good to gain map control, that is true. Specifically when it comes to denying drop play, shutting down Banshees, for example, Ravens, drops themselves. But against committed pushes, that's where they can struggle. Reapers, they poke in. They poke in. Hellions, they try to support. It's a bit of an awkward engage there from Clem. As MaxPax does fully wall off. So far, Phoenixes have not been revealed. And here comes the early push. I'm curious if Clem has gotten a read on what's happening here regardless. I mean, with the double gas opening, he was always going for a more aggressive build. Here he comes. Here comes Clem. Does he have enough anti-air, though? He's going to be reinforcing with tanks with Vikings, so he's going to be rallying everything across the map. There's going to be two, soon to be three Phoenixes to defend. Army gets spotted. And Clem pulls back. Pulls back. He needs more anti-air. Yeah, this early on with only 4 Marines. Cannot push. So far getting 1 SCV. And we'll see when Clem does decide to move out. Okay, he's slowly building up, getting another pair of Raxes. So far, MaxPax has 4, soon to be 5 Phoenixes. And he's backing off. He's backing off. Turtling up. Stim is going to be on the way, and Clem, it looks like he's going to stay at home until he gets into Stim. Meanwhile, we do see MaxPax not going Phoenix Colossus, going Phoenix into Charge and into Storm. Okay. And again, MaxPax is getting map control. The initial move out, the initial build of choice from Clem did fall on its face. I would say Clem is now in a worse position, as he otherwise could have had a more greedy and economic start. But at least he retains the army, which is important, right? Like, he's retained all of his tanks. He retained his medevacs. Didn't really lose much. Oh, and are we just going to turtle? Okay, going for a 3rd CC. So Clem is relinquishing map control. Getting into a longer game. Goes in, scouts the High Templar, sees it's going to be Storm. Oof, probes lining up. Oh my god. Yeah, probes do line up. That's going to be 7 probes going down. I get 9 probe kills. Oh my god. Getting up to 10. That should not have happened. 10 probes go down to 2 Hellions and 1 Reaper. Brutal damage. Likewise, we've built up to 4 Vikings. Gets a Phoenix. So Clem is expanding. MaxPax is moving out. Clem, he's already aware of Storm, of course. He's getting ready for the engage. Shots are connecting. Looks like one tank may go down. That's focus firing. Storm does run away the Marines. Ooh, that's still gonna be brutal. Tank shots. 2 Templar go down. Yeah, that was 2 Templar falling. Better fight, better trade for Clem. Has to reposition that tank. And we're just going to build up. We're just building up on 3 bases. Clem, he will be more defensive here. So Templar moving in. The tanks are a little bit far back. Let's all say something to the natural. Oof. Storm does graze the army. And a storm towards the end. Oh my god. Storms are brutal. Marines, they get shut down. And Clem, he is turtling up. So 4 CCs on the way. We should be seeing sensor towers, more depots. SimCity here is lacking. So should be looking to wall up. And it's going to be on MaxPax to once again, just like last game, wait for Clem to take a 4th base. That should be the ideal, is just wait for Clem to expose himself, to spread himself thin on 4 expansions. That's when MaxPax was able to catch Clem transferring over and rotating his army. That was on Ultra Love. Celotrop is ready. No turrets in the main. On the depots. Now rolling up. MaxPax making 2 Colossus at a time. Clem, he does sneak out with his Marines, and he may find the proxy. Does find it. Same time soldiers move in. They barely get the Liberator. Not bad. Oof. Job is cleaned up. And in my mind, similar to on Tokamak, the goal should be for Clem to just turtle, max out, build up into Liberators, refine his army. MaxPax has been taking more gases, so he's not going for this like heavy Zealot army that we went for on Tokamak. Incorporating more Colossus, High Templar, Storm. It's more tech heavy. Oh, and that is going to be a much earlier +1 air attack and an earlier switch into Tempest. Okay, so MaxPax, he has recognized what Clem is doing. He sees all the sensor towers. He sees how turtle heavy Clem is, and we see a much faster switch into Tempest. So I'm liking this out of MaxPax. Now the goal should be to contain. To still contain the Terran player, to make sure he freely and safely gets into Tempest production. We're getting there. Now, what is scary about this game compared to Tokamak is that unlike on Tokamak where MaxPax was hyper aggressive and constantly trading and keeping Clem's supply low, because we had no engagements here, Clem is maxed, which means he could move out before Tempest arrive. So there's a window in time here where Clem can try to break out. Let's see if he does. There's a fusion core that's going to be for his liberators. Oh, and MaxPax, he's going carrier. Oh, okay. Bold move. So carriers are better against more like standard bio-heavy composition like this. Tempest, they're better, they're more efficient against more of a siege-based army, so a more heavy liberator-based composition. The problem, of course, is that Tempest do scale better into a longer game. Carriers don't. So you don't want to be stuck on carrier, is the scary thing. Like there's a bit of an expiration date on carriers. As Clem is moving out, eyeing for map control. Snipers were just posturing, carriers are slowly building up, and hey, we're about to have 6. So far, Clem has no idea. Storm does try to zone. Oh! Once again, just buying time. Still holding onto those carriers. Really patient play here by MaxPax. Just keep them hidden. Wants to make sure they're as impactful as possible. As their carriers, they have arrived.
Mineral field depleted.
They reveal themselves. Clem knows. Clem is making Vikings. Yeah, another starport's on the way as well. He's up to only 9 Vikings. Has the guy back. Carriers are pushing through. Oh! And he's making 6 Vikings at jeez, 6 Vikings at a time. Again, he needs those Vikings. Throws down a wall of turrets as well. Are they ready in time though? MaxPax is moving in. He wants to go for the kill. He wants to go for the kill here. Working on +2. Still on 7 carriers. Clem is ready. How many Vikings? Jesus. 14. 14 Vikings. Oh. The EMP does graze the army. Interceptors going down. Again, MaxPax has to be so careful with this army. So carriers, they can be vulnerable. He's up the interceptors. We need those storms. Double goes down. First storm does land. MaxPax is avoiding those liberators. Sorry, there's Tempest, I meant to say. It's avoiding any kind of Tempest. It's going to be heavily reliant on those storms. Nice counter attack with Marauders. Nice use of them as well. Matching out the High Templar. Boys are being pulled. MaxPax is moving in. There are so many. Wait, how many ghosts are there? 16. 16 ghosts, 17 Vikings. Yeah, Clemmy's fine. That means perfectly fine. He has so many EMPs available. High ground storm. It's gonna be 16 probes going down across the map. MaxPax is not gaining any ground. Drop into the main base. Kills the Stargate, denies information. And now we start Tempest. That will help. There's only gonna be 3. As MaxPax is causing a distraction. Again, his goal here should still be to try to break one of these bases and try to find Clem out of position. Jesus, there's so many Vikings. This is also where storms are crucial to zone away the Vikings. Otherwise, they will just go to town on the Sky Toss. Oh, juicy storm. Sorry, juicy EMP. EMP connects. Covers almost everything. Losses go down. Vikings get a carrier as well. Down to 4 carriers. And Clem has just been out trading. Just been out trading. Quite some time now. Nice EMPs. Hunting with a high tempo. Oh, this time we will not get it. And MaxPax going back in the carrier? Okay. Not too convinced. Liberation is arriving. Tempest. Again, there are just so many Vikings. 23. 23 Vikings. Oh my god. Gets another carrier. I see EMPs. Yeah, carriers are being one-shots. Colossus as well. I see they're just dragging the army within range of the Liberators. Snaps the Archon. And Max actually being bullied back. EMPs that cover the Stalkers. A massive storm. Okay. Can we land another? We need another storm. Oh my god. And it goes that being pulled back. The lesser loader is falling. Down to 10. Where's the anti-air? Yeah, where's the anti-air? Here's Vikings. They sniped 2 more carriers. I believe that's almost every carrier going down. There's 1 left. And you can see MaxPax plummeted supply. As you mentioned, like carriers, they don't scale well into a longer game. So I was surprised to see more carriers in production. MaxPax was just stuck on carrier. Likewise, only 2 High Templar. The carriers, they did nothing. One more volley. What a mass. Gets the Mothership. And Mothership goes down. This should be the final push here from MaxPax. He's doing what he can. And he should lose all of his Skytos army. Yeah, down to 1 Tempest. GG gets called. MaxPax will lose everything. And Clem will take the series 3-1. Becoming this week's WardiTV Monday champion. GG. GG, well played. We were a little bit concerned that MaxPax would be baited and stuck on Mass Carrier, and that is what happened. Again, the carries, they don't really scale well into a longer game against a Mass Sky Terran composition of Liberators, of Vikings, of the Mass EMP as well. The difference between like Carrier and Tempest compositions is that Tempest, because of their longer range, and typically you have Tempest alongside and coinciding with Oracles for their Revelation, because they're longer range, you're able to pick away at the army and deter those kind of dives, and pick away at the Vikings or the Ghosts at a time to make sure that you're safe, and of course with said Revelations have the wherewithal to pull away if the Terran army ever does try to advance on you as well. It's a bit of a slower style, that's the one downside, and it looks like that MaxPax wanted to avoid that kind of playstyle as well. Going Mass Carrier means that you want to try to break, like you want to try to push in, be more aggressive and try to break your opponent, whereas Tempest is like a slower siege unit where you go in, you get a couple of volleys off, you pull away, go back in. Like there's that slow like dance, that back and forth between like your Tempest army and the Vikings of your opponent, the Viking ghosts of your opponent. It's a lot slower. It's say like Broodlord play like in TvZ. But in the end, he didn't want to go for that. He did want to be more aggressive earlier, and that means that his army, it gets outscaled, right? It has that expiration date that we mentioned, does get outscaled over time. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Clem, as it does claim the series. That does take it here. Again, we did see quite a bit of variety here. Game one, we saw more aggression out of Clem, but then moving forward, we did see this more kind of like slower defensive style, which we have seen rise in popularity in recent weeks. Beyond was always doing it, of course, but now we've seen it become a little bit more mainstream from players like Clem, players like Bunny as well. Bunny's also becoming less aggressive and being more defensive like this, where you're able to just defend, turtle up, and get into a more ideal composition of Sky, Terran, and Ghost to just outscale the Protoss. GG, well played. I will say that I feel a little bit robbed of an ace match. Like I'm still thinking about the game on Tokamak, where MaxPax had a massive advantage, and once again he was also late, and he was also unwilling to switch into Tempest and switch into Skytos. He was very late to do that there as well, and with that was outscaled. So GG, well played. Did happen a couple of times here, and with that, Clem will claim it. See in chat, Tempest aren't splash damage, right? No, they are single target. The ghost supply thing making late game versus toss comfy again. Yes. Having the excess ghost does help quite a lot with those EMPs. Like we saw non-stop EMPs against the Templar, against the Archons, against the carriers. That is true. That is something that we have noticed as well, of course, is the higher Tempest count. Will Vikings prioritize carriers over interceptors if they are within range, or do you need to manually target? I believe, didn't they recently change that in the patch? They changed the attack priority. Am I crazy? I think previously they would attack the interceptors first, but they changed it now so that they attack the carrier. But that was, I say recently, I think that was like 2 patches ago, right? Like 2 patches ago is when that changed. So relatively recent in the overall grand scheme of StarCraft. Like I think they changed that last year? Question mark. I think it was last year. Oh, but there we go. GG, well played. Now that one below the other area units, yeah. But with that, GG, well played. Congratulations here to Clem, and with that, we are going to be wrapping up for our morning broadcast. We still have, of course, plenty more StarCraft throughout the course of the entire week. As you can see here, it's a very busy schedule here for us on the CranKy Ducklings. We just wrapped up with the Tuesday morning broadcast of the WardiTV Monday, and we're going to be live later on tonight at 7 p.m. KST with Sparkling Tunica. Here we go. That is going to be at 9 p.m. AEST. That is going to be in around around 7.5 hours. In around 7.5 hours, we're going to be live with our next cast with the Tuna Cup. Likewise, tomorrow at this hour, we're going to be live with the Pegasus Cup. That's going to be Pegasus Cup. That'll be a live cast, of course. And we have the grand finals of the CranKy Gathers Team League Tournament. That'll be tomorrow evening. We then have the OSC Rising Star Tournament on Thursday. We have the Pondcast Thursday evening. We have more WardiTV Monday replays on Friday. That's going to be this week's WardiTV Monday. We have KSL on Saturday, SDO, more Pegasus Cup, and of course more Tuna Cup as well. A lot of content, a lot of StarCraft, a lot of, as always, happy as always. A very, very busy week. This is basically a catch-up week, just because we have a couple of replay casts of the Crank Gatherers event, of Pegasus Cup, and of the WardiTV events as well. So we're going to be catching up this week before settling into a more regular live coverage throughout the course of November. And also, it's a good week to catch up on just because starting next week, you know what begins? RSL Revival StarCraft League will begin next week. We already had the qualifiers, but the group stage begins on the 13th of November. We will not be casting the playoffs, but the group stage, but we will be casting the playoffs of RSL. So that is going to be, again, starting next week on the 13th. What else do we have? We have Stellarfest. True, Stellarfest is this week. That is the big offline event happening in Canada. And we have the Chinese show match tournaments at the end of November on the 29th. Outside of that, we have our regular open cups. As always. Pig's Cup this time without Pig because he's traveling to Canada. Yes, as we mentioned, Stellarfest is an offline event happening in Canada, and Pig alongside Steadfast will be covering that event. True. What channel is Stellarfest casted on? That is a good question. That is a question I do not have the answer to. They might have an agreement to cast on Pig's channel, or they might make their own. So I can't say for certain there. I do think for viewership purposes, it would be good for them to probably host it on Pig's channel, but it's up to the organizer, right? It's up to Stellarfest, whether they use Pig's channel or whether they make their own Twitch channel. Bearing in mind that this is the first event for Stellarfest, it's their first offline event, their first foray into offline StarCraft, so it's a newer endeavor, I should say, for those working on Stellarfest. Wikipedia shows Steadfast as the mainstream. Oh, there you go. So potentially they might use Steadfast's channel. That will benefit a lot. But we'll see. Orsa TV Esports. Oh, okay. If they have Steadfast on Wikipedia, he might be the B stream or a side stream. We'll see how they kind of like bring it all together. We shall see. But yeah, I would say just check TL, right? Whenever the event goes live, TL, they should have the updated stream. Should have it there. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, we're going to be live tonight with some Tuna Cup and tomorrow with Pegasus Cup as well. So plenty of StarCraft throughout the course of the week. If you want to support us, you can follow us on all the socials, ! Socials in the chat. You can follow us on YouTube. We do upload on YouTube on a daily basis, so plenty of content on YouTube. Likewise, you can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, Mastodon, Discord as well. We do post whenever we go live. And with that, we're going to be wrapping up for the day. You can also support us on Patreon. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments like Tuna Cup, which is later on tonight, all funded via Patreon. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'm gonna go get some rest. I'm giga tired right now, so I'm gonna go get some rest, but I'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft, either tomorrow or later on tonight. Until then, thank you for watching. Ciao, papi, ciao. Thanks for watching. Hasta luego.